Hey girls, okay, so today we are going to be looking at the grammar file for Unit 6 and going through all the grammar that we've done in this unit, alright? So it's actually at the back of the book, page 152, 153, okay? If we start on page 152, we'll go through the grammar, then I'll ask you to pause the video while you do the practice on page 153. When you finish, come back and we'll go through the answers. All right? So, in fact, maybe it'd be better to have a part 1 and a part 2. Would you prefer that? Okay, let's do that. So part 1, we'll go through the grammar, then stop the video, do the practice, and then in part 2, I'll go through the answers. Much easier. Good idea, girls. All right, let's start then with the conditionals. All right, so the basic conditionals, easy peasy. Starting with zero conditional, if in the present, and the present, we use it for general truths or consequences. Okay, things which are always true. The example here, if you get headaches while working on the computer, it's because you're straining your eyes. First conditional then, we use the first conditional, if in the present, and future form, or might or could, for the consequence of a possible future action or situation. All right, in this one we can also use unless, in case, provided that, instead of if. Have a look at the examples. If elephant hunting continues, the animals will become extinct. I've brought my homework with me in case we have some time to study. The new road will be built soon unless the local residents protest against it. Easy peasy. Second conditional then. So we use second conditional if and past simple, would, could or might, and an infinitive for hypothetical actions or situations in the present. Okay? If I didn't drink a strong coffee at breakfast, I wouldn't be able to function in the morning. Third conditional then. We use the third conditional, if and past perfect, would have, and a past participle, for hypothetical actions or situations that refer to the past. Okay, if the band had included our town on their tour, we would definitely have gone to see them. All right. Now we also have mixed conditionals, which we did in this unit. Okay, the easiest thing to remember with mixed conditionals is when it's referring to the past, we use the third conditional, and when it's referring to the present or the future, we use the second conditional structure. So let's look at the three different mixed conditionals. The first one we use to speculate about the possible result in the present of a hypothetical action or situation that happened in the past. So for the situation in the past, we use third conditional, and for the present consequence or result, we use second conditional. So here, if and past perfect, third conditional, would and infinitive, second conditional. Here's the examples. If I had taken that temporary job in the summer, I would have a lot more money now. So if I'd done that action, taken the job in the past, I would have more money in the present. If the train hadn't been delayed, we would be there now. All right, so a past action has a present result. Now we also use mixed conditionals when we speculate about the past result of an action or situation in the present. Okay? Again, when we're referring to the present, we use the second conditional, and when we refer to the past, the third conditional. All right? Look again. If Jane and Mark were fitter, they'd have done the marathon with me. So if they were fitter now, they could have done the marathon when I did it in the past. If the website were more interesting now, it would have had a lot more hits from the past up to now. Okay? Now the third one is very similar to the first, but instead of with a present result, we're talking about a future result. So to speculate about the future result of a hypothetical or action situation in the past, again, for the past action, third conditional, and for the present action, second conditional. If Ben hadn't hurt his ankle, he'd come skiing with us. If my dad's car hadn't broken down, he'd be giving us a lift to the concert tonight. Okay, so we use these mixed conditionals when the result happens at a different time to the action. All right, fairly simple? For you, yeah. So, what about alternative forms with conditionals? Well, with first conditional, we can use should instead of if. So, should, subject, infinitive, future simple. This is for a more formal situation, to be more polite. The example here, should you require further assistance, the receptionist will be available to help. Okay, nice and simple. We can also use if, subject, word to an infinitive with the second conditional when the situation is less likely. Look at the example. If I were to increase my offer, would it be accepted? I don't think it's going to be accepted, so I'm making it in a different structure. If I were to increase my offer. Now, if we want to make that even more formal, we can also use inversion. Take away the if and invert subject and verb. The example here, were I to increase my offer, would it be accepted? Okay, so we can use this if, subject and word to if we think it's a less likely situation, and then we can use inversion to make it more formal. Finally, inversion with the third conditional again makes it more formal in less likely situations. Had we asked, they would have agreed to our request. All right, fairly simple. So we also looked at linking expressions, okay, and different expressions that we can use to introduce different things. So let's have a quick run through them. To introduce a condition, if, even so, as long as. To introduce an addition, as well as, what is more. A purpose, in order to, so as not to. An example, for instance, namely, that is. A cause, because of, due to, owing to. A consequence, therefore, as a result. A limitation, in reality, even though. A reformulation of what was said, so paraphrasing, in other words. A contrast, in contrast, whereas, whilst, on the other hand, otherwise, nonetheless. And a constant truth, no matter when, no matter why, no matter where, no matter how, etc., etc. All right. Now, how do we use these linking expressions? Well, the linking phrases can be followed by a clause. We can make the video if we have enough money. We collected data in order to prove our point. I'm not helping you. In other words, do it yourself. Okay. Can also be followed by a noun, including an ing form if it's the subject. So he can win the competition as well as helping the weaker players. Owing to this delay, we cannot deliver on time. Okay. A clause or a noun. So we had several great meals. For instance, the Italian restaurant was very good. We can also use back referencing to connect ideas. So I didn't believe him. What he meant was that the project could not be saved. So I'm referencing something that was said before and connecting the past to now. He and I did not agree. Where we differed was in our approaches. Okay. Now these are the type of linking expressions we're looking for, particularly in writing. All right. And our Unit 6 writing was an essay, so I'm hoping to see lots of these expressions. All right. So now it's over to you to do the practice on page 153. Okay. That's the end of part 1. Come back for part 2 for the answers. All right. Bye, guys.